Let's bring in CTV News political commentator and former NDP leader Tom Mulcair. Good to see you, Tom.
Good to be with you, Renee.
How crucial is it right now for Canada to be diversifying its trade portfolio?
Absolutely essential. And in all seriousness, even though I was in a different political party for years, I have to say that Carney is the best person to be selling Canada right now. When he walks into a room, whether it is in Mexico City or in New York, or indeed in London, people know who he is. They respect his knowledge, his deep understanding of world markets. When he talks about Canada adapting its tax laws to bring in more investment for infrastructure, everybody in London is listening because they know that he knows what he's talking about. So I find it difficult for Pierre Poilievre. I understand what it is to be in opposition, and they're always trying to find a way to knock it. But if we didn't have Carney there now, having these meetings, I think we'd be in a lot more trouble than we are with Trump. By the way, I thought it was hilarious. And his mastery of the language and understated humor as he was describing these episodic eruptions without ever naming Trump, but we all knew what he was talking about. It was quite well done.
You mentioned Poilievre, who has been critical of Carney's travels in recent weeks. What do you make of where he's been traveling in terms of trade?
I think that it was key that he be in New York. He had to be there. He got to meet the creme de la creme of the financial world, but he knows them individually and he knows them by name. And it's the same thing in London. It's his second trip there. In June, there were undertakings with the Brits. We were sitting down to make sure that on key security issues, key financial issues, and yes, making sure that we reinforce, because we've had a long-standing trading relationship with the United Kingdom, but we reinforce our trading relationships with partners in Europe and around the world because we are dealing with a very volatile situation with the United States. We never know what Trump's going to do from day to day because it's become quite clear that Trump doesn't know what he's going to do from day to day. So it's very difficult for us to have any sort of long-term planning. We've lost a lot. Our markets are being hit hard, but I think that Carney's doing exactly the right thing. He's showing that Canada is fronts on three oceans. We're one of the few countries in the world that can say that, and we've got partners around the world, and we're well regarded. And Carney himself is very respected, and I think it's helping us a great deal right now.
Now, as we look towards the CUSMA negotiations, what do you think the government will be focusing on with the Americans? Will they be using trade talks with other countries as leverage?
Absolutely. And that's the art of negotiation. Because, of course, Mr. Trump always boasts that he knows the art of the deal. Fair enough. But he's got his own way of going about it. Canada's going to go about it methodically, looking at the best deal that we can get for ourselves. And I do take very seriously what Mr. Carney said at the end. In clear, everyday language, he was saying, look, we don't mind having another deal with the Americans, but that deal is going to be much better written than the current one so that we don't have Donald Trump saying, oh, sorry, there's a fentanyl problem and Canada is the cause, when that's complete and utter nonsense. But you have a pretty well open clause that says that the Americans can plead national security and you're not allowed to question it. Well, that's the type of thing that has to be tightened up and shored up. Otherwise, there's no point in having a deal with them if they can just tear up the deal and make up excuses like the war on fentanyl off the top of their heads.
It's a good point you bring up. Tom, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much. As always, that is Tom Mulcair, CTV News political commentator and former NDP leader.